are so excited to have you here tonight so that you can start your journey at Waxahachie High School. I am Mrs. Harris. I am the campus principal, and I'd like to take the time to introduce you to a few amazing people. Our assistant principals at Waxahachie High School, Randall Buck, Paul Toll. Over here we have Matt Queen, Jeanette Middleton, Nancy Moore, and Sean Cagle. Our counselors, who you'll get to hear a little bit more from them tonight, is Susan Schmidt, Ramona Linhart, Bo Livingston, Tony Vincent, Winnie Reed, and Ms. Jean Baskin. Tonight, we're going to try to keep you in here just for a short time, then we're going to have some breakout sessions that I would like to introduce to our global principal, Mr. Ken Lynch.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. I want to introduce my staff for the crowd tonight. We have our assistant principal, Jerry Lothar, and our counselor, Ms. Christy Newcastle. I want to say thank you very much for coming tonight and taking this time on Tuesday to be here. If later on you'll have a chance to walk through the building, but if you want to have a chance to come see our building, it's right there next door to Coleman. You can do that on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We'll talk more about that later. I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Binnicker, who's our director for CTE.
Thank you very much. How many people out here, this is your first time, your first child that will be going through high school? How many people raise your hand for me? All right, how many of you students out there are nervous about going to high school? How many parents are nervous about sending your kid off to high school? Okay, that's what I figured. Your kids are going to be fine. This is an amazing district. We've got some amazing programs. And I'm just going to go through real quick. I'm not going to spend a long time in here talking to you guys because I want to send you out and let you go talk to the teachers and the programs and learn more about them. So just a little bit about the two campuses here. So Waxahachie High School, as you can see up here, enrollment's just under 2,500 students. It might actually be a little bit higher since I got this information. Ms. Harris is telling me yes. Just to give you some background and see where the enrollment is, where the students are going, and kind of what the programs are here. So CTE down there at the bottom, you see it's 93.9%. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about tonight is the endorsements that we have here within this high school as well as at Waxahachie Global High School. The programs here are amazing programs. If I had had these programs when I was in middle school or high school, I wouldn't be up here talking to you guys now. I would have chosen a different career path because there's so many amazing things that your kids can go into. So what we want your kids to do when they come here to these two schools is to really find what their passion is, find out what they like, and we also want them to find out what they don't like. We don't want them to be stuck in a program that you end up paying for this program in college. We want to get into these programs now while they're in high school and let them really figure out what it is that they like to do. We went to the junior highs last week and talked to the kids and we told them the same thing. Ask the kids what they're excited about, what they're passionate about, and the things that they like to do for fun, and we tied that back to a program we've got here at the two high schools. So I'll go through a little bit of this with you. Whatever your kids decide to do while they're here with us at the school, whether it's a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, military, or straight to the workforce, we've got the curriculum and the programs that are going to set your kids up for success. Part of what they'll decide when they're choosing the benefits of a program pathway is they'll be in groups in small learning communities. So they'll be on a kind of a cohort model with students that are in the same programs, so they'll take the same classes over a 4-year plan. We've got partnerships with local businesses in town. We have partnerships with community colleges, some of the junior colleges here in town, so we've got a lot of dual credit programs too at the two schools. Within the 4 endorsements, and like I said, I'm not going to go super in depth. It's kind of like declaring a major in college. So the endorsements that you see up here are programs we have at both of the high schools, and I'll go more in depth in these in just a second. STEM, business and industry, arts and humanities, and public services. So within each of these, the things that you can expect out of these programs are certifications and real-world experiences. These are a lot of the reasons that kids come to school. They get to come to school to be hands-on, they're active, they're physical, they're engaged in programs that keep them up to date with what's happening out in the real world. I used to be a junior high teacher, I taught 7th and 8th grade. I tell the kids, this is the real world, but once you graduate high school and you get out into the real world, it's a little bit different. So we want to give you a taste of that while you're here with us, so you know what to expect when you leave here. The certifications that we offer to our students here are the same certifications that you'll see out in the industry. If you were to take a program like this at the university level, it's the same level of certifications. They're industry-based certifications, so they're tied to what the workforce needs. So TEA has done the research for us, so it's made it a little bit easy, but they've worked with these businesses and they've tried to figure out what the programs are, what the certifications are that students need to focus on so they are career ready, they're future ready. I've listed some of these up here. There are more. I just couldn't fit them all on this slide. I didn't want to give you too much information. These change pretty regularly. I think the list is up to 240 different certifications now, and we offer these here within WISD. We pay for these for your students. We want your students to not have a burden and to be ready to go out into the world with these things. So they can go off with these welding certifications or with an NCCR carpentry certification, the Adobe certifications, things they can take with them and go and get a job immediately. In some of our programs like culinary, we do a serve-safe restaurant management certification. Students can go out and work with those things while they're still in high school with us. A lot of the real-world experiences that I've talked about, again, these are the reasons that kids get to come to school. So I remember being in elementary and middle school going on field trips. The field trips and the things that students have access to in high school is a lot better than what I went to when I was in high school, I'll just say that. The partnerships we've got with local businesses here in town are really amazing. So you can see a couple of people here and some programs we've got going on where the students are going out and they're seeing the application of what they're learning in the classroom. So it's an extension of what they're getting in the day-to-day in the class. They get to go out in the workforce or into the job shadows and they see these things hands-on. So like I said, some of the program areas that we've got here between the two high schools, and you can see I've got asterisks by some of these. Health science is a program that's offered at both of the high schools. Education and training will be starting up at Global this next year, and it's also offered here at WHS. Cybersecurity and engineering are both offered at both high schools as well. So some of these programs you'll see, they're just listed here at WHS. A lot of the business and industry side. So Global, if you stay in this session after this, you'll learn more about Global, and Mr. Lynch will talk about those programs to you. And then our health science, like I said, at both of the high schools, there's a number of different pathways, and you've got the information in front of you there that goes more in depth, and it shows you the 4 year of courses, so a 4-year plan, more or less, of what those classes would look like. Public service, number of different programs there, STEM, and then visual performing arts. And you'll get the opportunity to hear from Mr. Morgan more about that area as well. So he will be in the band hall after this session. Mr. Lynch will stay in here. You can go to the lecture hall, learn more from the counselors, and they'll talk about the endorsement plans way more in depth. And then the CTE wing, if you walk out the hallway and go all the way down, there'll be some people pointing you down there. We've got all the classrooms and the labs and shop spaces open. So you can come tour those and talk to the teachers. We've got students there from the UIL programs, the career tech student organizations that want to share with you about the programs and the stuff that they get to do. So it's, as an 8th grade student, talk to those high school students that are here. Ask them questions. Find out what the classes are like. Find out what they get to do in these classes. This is a chance for you to learn more about it so you can really figure out the program that you want to go into when you come here. So like I said at the beginning, this pathway, whether your kids are going to a 2-year, a 4-year, if they're going straight to the military or directly in the workforce, we want to prepare them for those things. So the only thing that we are missing is you guys. Like I said, the schedule right there, you've got the same thing in front of you. Mr. Morgan is standing over here to my right, your left. Mr. Lynch will be in here in the Performing Arts Center, and he'll be doing some sessions in here, and then the lecture hall. We'll direct you down that way. I can't even start to tell you the direction down there. So if you'll make it out to the left over here, go down the hallway, and we'll point you down to the lecture hall. And those sessions will run at 7 and 7:30. And then you can tour the rest of the campus at your leisure. So I don't want to take up any more of your time tonight. Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. Hope to see you guys soon.
We are the Early College High School here in the district. See if I can figure out if that works. All right. Some of the benefits for an early college high school: we provide dual credit to students at absolutely no cost. We offer rigorous instruction, which is important for students when they're getting ready to go off to 4-year campuses. If you're applying for a school and they're wondering, are you really ready for college? If you've already completed an associate's degree or you've got quite a few college hours already, they know that you're ready for college work. We provide academic and social support services to make sure your students are successful. If a student goes to college normally, you just go into class, they hand you a syllabus, maybe a few books, they lecture, and there's not a lot of extra support. but by the fact that you're in a high school, your student will get a lot of extra support, just like they would if they were in a high school class. We offer tutoring during the day, extra tutoring in the night or in the afternoon if you need it. You get progress reports, all the kind of things that you would get in a normal high school, you would still get and still be able to get college credit hours. This increases college readiness. Early college high schools were originally designed to improve the college and career readiness for our students. And it reduces barriers to college. So a lot of our students are first-time college goers. That means that their parents did not attend or did not graduate from a four-year university. And because of that, a lot of times students don't really understand all of the things it takes to get into college and all of the things that go along with being in college. But because you're in a high school and we give you extra support, we walk you through a lot of that so that you're ready when you actually leave high school to go off to a four-year campus. What is an early college high school? An early college high school is a school that provides your student with the opportunity to get 60 college hours or earn an associate's degree while they're still in high school. The truth is, most of our students every year, 90 to 94% of our seniors will graduate with their associate's degree and walk across the stage at Navarro 2 weeks before they actually graduate from high school. We partner with two different colleges. We partner with Navarro College right here in Waxahachie, and we also partner with UT Tyler and of course in Tyler. So some of your credits will be from Navarro, and some of your upper classes, math and science classes, would be from UT Tyler. Global schedule basically mimics the college schedule. We do A and B days, so Monday and Wednesday are A days, Tuesdays and Thursdays are B days. We have, on A day, you do classes 1 through 4, and we have an advisory period between 3 and 4, and then on B days, we do 5 through 8, and we have an advisory period between 7 and 8. On Friday, the colleges don't have class, and one of the reasons that we mimic the schedule is because a lot of our students do go back and forth from our campus to Navarro when they're seniors. So we try to match that schedule a little bit. But on Friday, the college does not have they don't do classes on Friday, so we meet all 8 of our classes just in a shorter time frame. We do 45 minutes instead of an hour and a half. And that way, the day goes by really, really quick. Dual credit. One thing you need to understand about dual credit is not a really hard high school class that you get college credit for. Dual credit is a college course that when you earn, when you pass, you earn credit on the high school side, the matching high school credit. So when you're looking at taking a college class on our campus, you're looking at taking a true college class. That way, when it comes out, the dual credit does come out on your college transcripts. Our dual credit staff, we have 24 instructors on campus. 15 of them do dual credit, and they are all accredited through the colleges that they teach for. So if you're taking a class that's a Navarro class, then that teacher is accredited through Navarro College. If you're taking one that's a UT Tyler class like chemistry or maybe calculus, then that teacher will be accredited through UT Tyler. All of our teachers are, they're actual college instructors. They work for us full-time, so that tends to give more support for the students because they are employed by Waxahachie ISD, but they are true college instructors, and several of them teach classes actually on the Navarro campus here in town. We are part of WISD. I get asked this question a lot, and because we follow all the same rules for attendance, dress code, those kind of things. We're just like WISD. We've always been STEM. Ever since we started in 2007, the school was a STEM school. We still offer all of those STEM courses. And basically that was under the engineering field. Next year we're adding cybersecurity, which is also under the STEM endorsement. It's important to remember that every single student in Texas has to graduate under one of the endorsements. Last year we offered health science. We started that up. We actually have 140 students in health science. It's even bigger than the engineering field is right now on campus. And it falls underneath public service. This following year we will be getting education, and we'll have an education track for anybody who's interested in becoming a teacher or working in that field, and that's also falls under public service. So it's basically, currently it's STEM or public service. Kind of give you a little history. The school started initially in 2007 as a STEM-only school, and then we became an early college high school in 2009. In 2009, there were about 30 schools like us across the state of Texas. But the system and the program has been so successful that it's grown, and that as of today, there are 169 early college high schools, and there will be 30 more next year for a total of 199. Global High School is the only high school in Ellis County to receive an A rating from TEA. So most of you got your school report card in the email the other day, and so you can kind of compare that. We have a copy of ours out on the table if you're interested, and we're the only high school in Ellis County with an A. Our students are very successful. They go everywhere or just about anywhere they want to. You'll notice that this is just a few of the places that our students have gone. Quite a few Tier 1 schools. So, you know, if you're thinking, well, if you go to early college high school, you can't get into Tier 1 school, that's not true. You can get into Tier 1 school. Our students do very well. If you're thinking you want to go to an Ivy League school, our students go to Ivy League schools. This is Blanca Perez. She graduated last year. She's at Brown. This is Lily Lawler. She graduated last year. This is a picture of her and her mom. She went to Yale. She got a full scholarship to go to Yale. I looked it up the other day. It's like $71,000 a year, and she's not paying for any of that. Room, tuition, books, any of those things. So if you want to be successful, Global High School is a good place to go to be successful. This year, Josh Garcia is signed up to go to Brown. So it's not a fluke. It's one of those things that can happen year after year. We are nationally rated. We're rated by the U.S. News and World Report. We have a silver rating with them, and we've been rated for the last 5 years nationally because of our standing and our great students. If you're looking online to see where we're at, comparing us with other schools in the area, and you go to greatschools.org, which is usually the one that most people use. It's one most of the realtors refer back to. We are rated with 10, and there are several 10s in the state of Texas, but I think we're the only one that's in Ellis County. So if you're looking for a quality school, Global High School is a good place to go. We're academic based. We have very high expectations for everyone who comes to school. We have an inclusive atmosphere. It's a very different kind of atmosphere than you would find at a typical school. It's not like anything you've ever seen. We're small enough that students typically will be known by every teacher on campus, whether that teacher actually has that student or not. Students do a lot of group projects, so they know each other. The clubs that they're in help them to get to know the students at other grade levels. It's very much a family atmosphere. You can be whoever you want to be. So we have ex-band members, ex-jocks. We have, nerdy kids who just want to play video games. We've got them all. And if you're just accepted for whatever you are and for what you bring to the table. Every student has access to a two-year college program. So if you were to come to WHS and get in their scholars program, you have to have had Algebra 1 as an 8th grader. You have to be at the top of your class. I think they accept about 25. Every single student who comes to Global is a college student. Every single one of them will be a Navarro student starting their freshman year. Every single student has an access to a 2-year college degree. Students do need to be dedicated. You do need to have a work ethic that you can either have now or that you can develop. You need to set aside time every day that you can work on homework. And I know, 8th graders probably haven't done homework in 8 years. But you will have homework when you come to Global because you will be in college courses. If you want to fill out the application, because we are a school of choice, you can go to global.wisd.org and then just go to application and click on that. You can click on the banner. The banner will take you to the application, and you can get that way. And the application is all online. It won't take you very long to fill it out, but because we are a school of choice, you do have to fill out an application. You don't just come because, that's the school that you're slotted to go to. So we wouldn't need you to do that. All right. Gosh, we have a lot of time. Do we have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
How many staff members do you have? How many teachers are at Global?
We have 24 global teachers, and then we have 2 adjuncts. So, if you count everybody, it comes up to about 26. So our class sizes are not necessarily the smallest in the district, depending on what you're taking. Some classes are bigger than others. If you're in an English class, it's probably going to be 25 to 28. If you're in computer science, it's probably going to be closer to 15, something like that. Yes, sir.
Reading your literature, it shows that this is a lottery system to get into Global. How many people do you turn away every year?
Well, we really don't turn away anyone. If we get to a point where we have to take, or we have more applications than we can actually take, then we do have to go to a lottery system. But currently, we could probably take 200 students this next year, and it wouldn't be a problem. So, in the past, I think maybe there might have been one year at the old location that we actually had to have a lottery system, but even at that time, we were able to bring people in because other people chose not to come who had applied. So we really have never turned anyone down. Yes, sir.
Is there an interview process after the application?
There is an interview process, but the interview is not about us accepting the student. The interview is more about more information about the school, just to make sure that everyone understands what it means to take dual credit classes, and the effort that you're going to have to put forward, and it's really about that. It's making sure the student really wants to come, because it does take a little more effort. I tell the kids when I go talk to them at the junior highs, I say, I have everybody raise their hand. So they'll raise their hands a little bit, and I'll say, well, raise them a little higher. And everybody can do it. And that's really what it is at Global. If you just ask people to do something, they'll just do where they can be. But if you ask them to try a little harder, they can do it. And every single student who comes to Global is successful. I think all of our students leave between 30 and 45 hours, even if they don't get an associate's degree. So, but 90 to 94% of them will get an associate's degree. It's just a matter of, starting and then continuing, just not giving up. So, any other questions? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry? Sports, we do not offer sports. We're academic based, so we don't have sports or band. We do have a drama class. We don't have a full-blown drama program, at least not at this point. We did start drama classes last year, so we do offer like one-act play and some of those things. We do UIL, we do TSA, which is the Technical Student Association, very much like UIL. So there are plenty of places where students can compete academically if they wish. And so altogether, I think we have about 28 clubs on campus, different things that interest just about everybody. In the back.
Is there a cutoff date as far as the application, or when, I should say, when is the cutoff date for the application process? And then is there a waiting period? I know you said today you've never turned anybody away, but provided you get there, when will there be confirmation that the student is either accepted or have to go another route?
Well, we would do that at the interview. So go ahead and let you know if you're accepted or not. And like I said, we don't really turn anyone away. There are sometimes some exceptions with special ed, because if you've got a certain handicap that we just don't have a way to address on our campus, and they do on this campus, they would have to come back over here, but that almost never happens. We have, we have special ed on our campus, so we can address those things. And so really, until school starts, you can probably still get in. I doubt if we'll take 200 this year. We might. We took 160 last year. So it'll just depend on what the growth looks like. We were able to take some students all the way up into December this year, either students who started here and decided that they wanted to come back and try global, or they moved in from outside and wanted to come to global. Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Once we have an interview set with you, what do we need to bring to that?
Well, when you fill out the application, there's a request for paperwork that things that you need. So it's basically the latest report card that you have, so we can determine what classes they'll be taking for next year, because it makes a difference. You know, if you're taking Spanish 1, high school Spanish, then we're not going to put you in Spanish 1 again. If you're taking algebra, then you would take geometry or algebra 2, and we need to know that. Social Security number, some things like that. So, but there's a list, and all those things are on the list, so that you know what to bring when you call. And you know, all of our students, because they are college students, will have to take the TSIA, which is the Texas State Initiative test, really, and it's kind of a college entrance exam. Most of our courses that you would take as a freshman, even though they're dual credit, don't require a passing score. They only require that you have a score. So if you don't pass, then we have plenty of opportunities for you to take the test again. We have plenty of times, different ways that you can do that. Ms. Newcastle, our counselor, sets that up, and she can, she tests almost every day in her office, I think, individual students who want to test. We have tutoring programs to address that. We have a computer program to help students pass the TSI. So we have quite a few different things, ways for them to do it. There are 3 parts to that test. There's reading, writing, and math. There's no reason to take math until you're through with Algebra 2, because you can't take a college class until you're out of Algebra 2. So we typically give the math test while the student's in Algebra 2 toward the end of the year. Reading and writing are the 2 that you need to pass, because everything but math can be taken by passing the reading and writing sections. And I don't know, Ms. Newcastle probably remembers the numbers, but the majority of our students have passed the TSI and are in good shape to take their college classes. It's really, typically, that's not a big deterrent to getting kids into college classes. Anything else? Well, I really appreciate everybody coming. We are going to have kind of an open house for all 8th graders on our campus Thursday night starting at 7 o'clock. You'll be able to come by and see our teachers. You'll be able to see what clubs, some of the clubs and organizations will be there. Chance to walk through the building, see what it looks like, just like you can do tonight here at WHS. So we'd love to have all of you come at 7 o'clock. If you didn't get enough global information or pick up a pencil outside, please do that before you leave. Thank you very much.
I am Mrs. Schmidt, Susan Schmidt. I'm the lead counselor here at the high school. Our other counselors are Jean Baskin, Tony Vincent, Ramona Linhart, Whitney Reed, Bo Livingston, and Miss Gay Johnson has joined us from the CTE area as well. So tonight we're just going to go over our presentation here for a little bit, just to give you some information and hopefully help answer a few of your questions and address address your questions and some concerns and help you make decisions with your child. So again, they're starting high school, so this is a new fresh start, and everything is looked at by grades, attendance, test scores, character, and community service. You have to think of this as a new path, a new start. Again, their grades are going to be important. We want them to pass their classes the first time. We do not want them to have to repeat for credit recovery, because those classes are needed for graduation. Attendance is important. You do have to come to school. I hate to break that to you, kiddos, but you do have to come to school. If you miss too many days, you may have an 80 in that class, but we can't give the credit, so it's important that you come to school. And then test scores are also important, as there are certain STAR tests that are now called EOCs in high school that you will have to pass for that. And then once you start applying for colleges and scholarships, your character comes into play, and your community service and what you do extra is very important for those applications. So for your graduation plan, you are on the foundation with endorsement, which requires 26 credits to graduate, and we break down those credits just like you see on the board. You need 4 credits of English, 4 of math, 4 of science, 4 in your endorsement areas, which I believe Mr. Beneker kind of touched on those endorsement areas, 3 in social studies, 2 in a foreign language other than English, 1 in PE, 1 in fine art, 3 in electives. So when we sit with your student next week, we will go to those junior highs and we will do a presentation for them that will go further into depth than what we can tonight, to help them make decisions on endorsements, electives, are you in athletics, are you in band, are you in theater, choir, to help them decide what their best route is going to be. But they will start choosing which English route. Is it English 1? Is it pre-AP? What do I want to do? Same for math. If it's Algebra 1 or if they're doing geometry, is it pre-AP geometry? Science, your choices are biology, pre-AP biology. Endorsement will be deciding on which CTE is the right choice for you, or fine art is the choice for you. What fits your best interest. Social studies, we typically start you out with world geography, and then of course the language, we have options of Spanish, sign language, and French. PE can come with athletics, so that is a good fit for your athletic kiddos. So by grade, here is what credits are required, and by what we mean with credits is how you pass your classes, and at semester you get half a credit for that class. So at the end of the year, as a freshman, we need you to have that 6.5 credits so you can promote to be a senior. In junior high, sophomore, thank you, sorry. So in junior high, you go all year, you attend school and you pass your classes and you go on to the next grade. We go by credits, so you have to make sure that you pass all your classes in order to get to that 6.5 to promote to sophomore. Some of you may be doing some high school credit now in junior high. If you're taking Art 1 or Algebra 1, then you're already ahead of the game if you're passing those classes and doing what you need to do. You may already have that credit coming in with you as a freshman. So that will help you out whether you have 1 or 2 already on your transcript started. If not, your schedule's going to be built where you are able to get to that 6.5 credits with no problem, as long as you're doing what you need to do to take care of that. So GPA and ranking, I know this is very important for everyone. Want to inform you of all the particulars for GPA and rank. We do only figure in the core classes, so that would be your English, math, science, and social studies. And what is important here to point out is we do rank and GPA on the 6-point grade scale, which is our honors classes. So that would be the pre-AP, AP, and dual credit classes. On the 6-point scale, what the difference would be is, as you can see on the, if you can make a 70 to 74 in a pre-AP, AP dual credit class, and it brings you the same GPA points that an A in a regular class would bring you. So they're weighted differently because of the pre-AP, AP, and dual credit is a higher level class. It demands more work, it demands more time. It's a college level class that you're putting forth that effort. So if your student or you as a student have that potential to be in a pre-AP or dual credit class, it is to your advantage to be in those classes. You're able to build your GPA and build your rank. As you can see with the 85, you have the 5.25 on the pre-AP, AP, or dual credit, as opposed to earning 3.25 on the regular class. What I mentioned before with the end of course exams that you know them as of right now as STAR, we have 5 that you will have to take throughout high school and pass before graduation. Those 5 are English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History. Again, if you're taking Algebra 1 now, this year as an 8th grader, you'll have that Algebra 1 EOC before you before you move on to, I don't know why I have seniors in my head right now, sorry. Before you come over to us, and hopefully you have that all behind you. Otherwise, you will be taking as a freshman English 1, Algebra 1, and Biology EOCs at the end of your freshman year. We do have in place classes to help prepare you for that. So if you're struggling with your STAR tests this year at junior high, you could be placed in a remediation class for the English 1, Algebra 1, or the Biology, just to help give you that extra push and get you to the point that you need to be to pass that exam, because it just helps to relieve some of that stress for you if you're not trying to pass those exams as a sophomore or a junior or a senior at that time. And then English 2 is an EOC that you take as a sophomore, and then U.S. History is an EOC that you take as a junior. And this again is the endorsements that we offer, and I'm going to let Ms. Johnson come and kind of talk to you a little bit about how we help at the junior high level here currently to get the students prepared and making decisions on those, and then I'll discuss a little bit more about it when she's finished.
We're just going to do a brief discussion that could take like an hour. But as Ms. Schmidt said, there's 5 endorsement areas, and all students will be working towards an endorsement. And basically, an endorsement is a coherent sequence of courses in a certain pathway. Career and technical education has classes in STEM, business industry, and public service. Multidisciplinary, a student cannot choose multidisciplinary until after their sophomore year in Waxahachie ISD. At both schools, Waxahachie High School and Global, there's courses in the STEM, business industry, and public service. Arts and humanities is also an endorsement. But if you look in your packet, there is a sheet that has the pathways broken down into business and in all the different endorsement areas. Arts and humanities is not listed on here. But in the CTE related. Last week, we met with all junior high students that were present, and they took a career assessment. And it's basically an interest inventory that it doesn't choose things for them. I tell the kids, you know, if you rate high in health science, that doesn't mean you have to choose that as your pathway, but it's just a way to give you information about what your interests may be. Your student has a log-on, they can log you on to their account and show you what their results were, and it ranks them on the 16 career clusters. And in Waxahachie ISD, we're proud to say that we offer 15 of those 16 career clusters. The only one we don't offer is government and public service, and that is more of a secondary pathway, but we do offer a government class their senior year. So if you have any questions after, we do encourage you to visit the CTE wing, which is located on that side of the cafeteria at the back of the school. We have some awesome programs. And your students, I think when they can see the different programs, it gives them an idea. Just one more thing with that is, in many of our programs, as Mr. Vinegar said, we offer certifications. There are certifications that students can get that put them ready to whether, you know, for example, in health science, they can, while in high school, become certified as a medical assistant or as a pharmacy tech. That might get them right into the career force, or it might give them some skills in order to give them a job to further pursue a college degree in the health science field. And a lot of our pathways are that way. So if you have any questions after tonight, again, my name is Gay Johnson. You can call Waxahachie High School or Career Technical Education. Any questions, my email is gjohnson@WISD. I love talking about endorsements and career pathways. My job is to work with students K through 12 and getting them to think about their future. We can save you money and they can find out what they want to do in high school and not waste your money until they get to be, you know, a junior or senior in college and go, oh, I think I've changed my mind. We'd like to give them that experience here in high school. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. So when they come to sit with us next week to do their schedules, and also when we do the presentation at the junior highs on Tuesday, we will go better in depth of each endorsement, but we believe that they need to choose either what their career assessment has picked for them, if that is an agreement for them, or what they really like to do. We don't say pick the endorsement and let that be your choice for your pathway. We want them to pick the pathway that is right for them, and then that picks the endorsement. So we will sit with your student and make sure that is the right choice for them, discussing what they like to do, what they're good at, and things like that. So those classes start as a freshman level. Their name begins with like principal or introduction, and then changes as each year they promote. So we will be able to offer pre-AP and AP courses to freshmen. The difference between regular classes and pre-AP and AP, of course, it challenges students. It's higher level thinking. They dig a little deeper. A good thing about pre-AP and AP, if your student hasn't been in an honor class in junior high, it's something too that you might want to look at if you believe your student is up for the challenge. Just remember that it does require work outside of the school day. There's usually homework, you know, every night with that class. But just because they haven't been in honors in junior high does not mean they can't attempt it at high school. We do look at grades and that sort of thing. But if they haven't, something to remember is, do they like the subject? Because a pre-AP and AP will delve real deep into the material, and that way, if they like the subject, that's usually the classes they enjoy as pre-AP and AP. If they have been in honors, that it will be a good fit for them to continue if they are doing well in honors and enjoy those higher level classes. We do have an honors agreement that we ask to be signed for teacher recommendation for your approval that they take those courses. So we will have those forms with us next week when we meet with them. We do require those to be back before we actually sign students up for a pre-AP or AP class. Their schedule will reflect a regular class until we get the form back, and we do have a deadline for that, April 10th. And then they will have their course selection guide with them next week as well when they come home on that Tuesday. We see every school on that Tuesday. And they will need to select enough for 8 credits or 8 classes because we have 8 periods. And then again, the honors agreement's due by April 10th to change to a pre-AP, AP class. And then we know that once they turn in their form next week, sometimes they make changes. They decide, I've thought about it and I don't really want to be in the health science program. I'd rather be in auto. Or I've tried out for theater now and I want to be in theater. I don't want to do construction. So, I mean, there's changes that happen. We understand that because next week they hear us talk on Tuesday and then we start going to see them on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it's all pretty quick, and we understand that. So we like to give them an extension to change their schedules. So that will be until May 22nd. And so this would be a typical suggestion for your courses. We have English, math, science, and then a CTE if they choose to go the CTE route, world geography, PE or athletics, a fine art, and a language other than English. The athletics and band, if athletics and band's chosen, they do take 2 spots up on the schedule. So you're down to 6 selections if you are in athletics or band. So that's something to remember when you're looking at the schedule. Our graduation plan will come home with them. This is a state requirement that each child has a graduation plan on file. It is by endorsement, but each plan has all of the same general requirements of 26 credits, and it just is based on which endorsement. I happen to just pull up the public service one to put on here, but they're all the same except one says business and industry, one says arts and humanities, one has public service, and one has multidisciplinary. And then it breaks down the different options for each of those on the plan. So you'll be looking for this form when your child comes home next week as well. And this is the schedule selection form on y'all's left that will come home. It'll have a front and a back, and then the honors agreement on y'all's right will also have a front and back. The schedule selection form will be a color, I don't know what color yet, but the honors agreement form will be purple. We're all about colors in the counselor's office for paperwork. It really helps to know, keep our forms different. So look for those on Tuesday night to come home, Tuesday evening. So Tuesday we are at the campuses to present to all the 8th grade students. We go to each campus. And then on Wednesday we are at Coleman. So I know it's a quick turnaround. Some of you may not have time to talk with your student when they come home, and that's unfortunate. We again have to get some schedules in there, and then they do have till May to make changes if they're not happy with their schedule. And then Thursday we are at Finley, and Friday we are at Howard. So it's pretty quick turnaround. So We are done with our presentation, but I am ready to take some questions. I think we have a few more minutes left. If you have questions. Sir?
So the students are gonna choose an endorsement?
Yes, sir. Going to
And
choose an endorsement.
they can get out of that endorsement to go to something else if they choose?
They can at any time. It will, to change a schedule though, will have to be during a schedule change time. So if they want to change their schedule, they have until that May 22nd to change their schedule.
Okay, one last thing.
Mhm.
At which,
Just so everyone can hear your question.
at which year do they start taking dual credit?
Dual credit would be
which year?
their junior year. Their junior year. They would prepare their sophomore year, take the TSI or use their PSAT score or pre-ACT score. But it would be junior year that they're going to be able to take dual credit. Anyone else?
We probably have a few more minutes.
Okay.
That's 7:20.
Well, we'll still be around here for the next presentation. So, thank y'all.